father. Or should I call you Steve? Since it's a new year, maybe we should start cooking fresh with fewer smoke alarms this time. Your cooking's improving, but I can see the stress in your eyes. Anna's mom used this Blue Apron assemble and bake thing during our playdate. Pre-chopped ingredients, over 40 grams of protein, and just one pan to clean up. She just tossed it in the oven and boom, plating like she's got followers. So go to blueapron.com, Steve. Make 2026 the year you win dinner. Blue Apron. Get $50 off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code STIR50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. We've got a very special impromptu episode this weekend covering game week 30, the Champions League first leg of the round of 16. We'll also look ahead to the upcoming fixtures, obviously the second leg of the Champions League, the Premier League game week 31, and then also the Arsenal versus Man City Carabao Cup final on Sunday as well. But before we get into the episode, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share if you can. And for those listening on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, please follow, give us a 5-star review. All of that helps with the growth of the audio podcast. And then, of course, the views expressed in this podcast are just for entertainment purposes and do not reflect the real opinions of any affiliated person or organization. I have a feeling Khem might have some rage to share on the pod. Rhys will be joining a little bit later. And yeah, that boy's got to have a lot of rage in him. He's seen 2 L's in the space of about 4 or 5 days. So yeah, we've got a blockbuster episode. But yeah, before we get into it, how are you, man, doing? The Arsenal lads, you saw a late win against Everton. You're now, 9 points clear of Man City. Looking good, right?
Something like that. Something like that. Something like that. One game at a time. Same thing I say every week.
Yeah. I know that if Jonty didn't have such a sore throat, he'd be shouting as well. But yeah, great win for you guys yesterday. But let's start off with Arsenal then. We'll start off with the midweek. So you got a 1-1 draw in Leverkusen on, I think it was Tuesday, wasn't it? It was the early kickoff on Tuesday. Madueke getting a pretty controversial penalty. A lot of people talking about it anyway, to Havertz to tie up for 1-1. How do you guys feel about that first? Jonty, I'll go to you. Were you happy to just get a draw and get out of Dodge? Because Leverkusen played pretty well.
Yeah, no, they were good. I mean, we were pretty awful, though, to be honest with you. I think it wasn't... it was another one of those non-vintage Arsenal matches that are, in 20 years' time, no one's ever going to remember, but are quite excruciating to go through as a fan. I mean, there was a couple of controversial decisions. I mean, you can call out the Madueke one. I mean, and it should have been off first half. Man, just fully ice hockey body checked Zubimendi, managed to get away with it while he was on the yellow. So that one was a bit mad. But yeah, just happy to leave with a point, to be honest with you, because we did not play well. I mean, like, yeah, Saka getting not hooked, but I mean hooked maybe if you want to call it. But yeah, Saka getting taken off. I heard he was quite awful. But it was not a good game. And if that were the only game that we had to talk about this in this pod, I think the vibes of the Arsenal fans here would be pretty different to how it's probably going to be based off of the game yesterday. So yeah, it's just, I'm glad that happened first and not the other way around, because I think we'd be coming in there a bit more depressed.
Yeah, definitely the weekend's result or yesterday's result and also City's result changes the vibes and the feelings around everything, I'd say. But Razor, what did you make of it? Because there was chat in the group chat as well. I'll come to Khem in a minute to talk about the Noni penalty, but you also, like Jonty, happy to just get out of there with a draw and try and overturn the tie and get the win in the home leg on Wednesday.
Yeah, man, definitely. I think like Bayer Leverkusen are not like, I know there was a lot of speculation about the side of the draw that we're on and people saying like you must, like you have to make it to this stage of the competition, but none of the teams on that side of the draw are going to be thinking, oh, well, Arsenal are here, so we got to let them just run riot and get to the semi-finals or the finals or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So, I think, echoing what Jonty said, I think like watching the game, Leverkusen seemed a lot more up for it for long periods of the game. I think they were good going forward and they caused us some problems. And they kind of gave us a taste of our own medicine on the corner for the first goal. There was a lot of like shielding and dragging and distracting. And then there was a free man at the back post, which is, I'm sure you man have seen it, like the clip where like one of the Leverkusen coaching staff, I think it's the head coach, the manager, runs up to Jova after they score and he kind of goes, ha, 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 we got your number. And you know what? I love it. I like it. You know what I mean? A bit of like, shithousery, a bit of banter. It's not bad. And again, I think it kind of like nods towards the difference in how Arsenal are probably regarded here compared to in Europe, in the sense that they're kind of like, okay, these men do the set piece thing. So not only are we going to practice defending their set pieces, which I think Leverkusen did quite well as well. I don't think our set piece delivery was great throughout the game. I think it was aligned with the rest of our performance, to be honest, a little bit lackluster. But at the end of the day, 1-1 draw at their gaff, going to the Emirates on Tuesday. And it's not a bad position to be in. I think we just need to turn up on Tuesday night. So like Jonty said, quite happy that we got the results are that way around, I guess.
Yeah.
Only team that came away without an L as well. Let's just remember.
No, not the only. Not the only team. Newcastle got a draw as well, didn't they?
Oh, but no one cares. No one cares about them. Right? I'm talking.
Stop there.
I'm talking big teams. Bro.
Just say my bad, bro. They had the hardest game out of all of us.
Bro.
Yeah, the
Newcastle, man, they did their thing,
and they really should have won as well. They gave away a dumb penalty.
Actually, that's the difference. Is they actually probably had the opposite of us, where they actually should have won and got it stolen from them right at the end.
Yeah, it was a correct penalty though. The stairs was a real penalty.
All right, we'll go to you, Khem. Then, I mean, we discussed it in the group chat, but you're of the opinion that the Noni penalty was a dive, yeah.
It is. He threw himself to the ground, but you know that player's always looking for a pen when once they venture into the box and someone goes. The guy's an idiot for going to ground. First of all, like that's a risk that you shouldn't take, especially when you had the lead and it's only Noni. With all due respect, but like I've seen many of those not given. Many of those are not being given. So for that one to be given, it's just like, well, I don't know. But it also just adds to another point I want to make, where 19 teams have conceded a penalty in the Prem this season. Only one apparently has been incapable of giving away pens, despite consistent, disgusting acts of violence on a weekly basis in the box. Somehow they're just the angels of the league. But whatever. It was a pen. You got the draw. You'll take care of business in the second leg. You got a weird balancing act because you've got the Champions League games followed by a cup final. Being there can go wrong very badly. So see how it plays out. It has happened, or it can go very right. So that's down to Arteta. Really, it's probably the biggest week of his career, if I'm honest. So you can roll your eyes, but it is Raymond. It is the biggest week of his career.
That's a positive, right? I mean, I
know
it
is. I'm not taking it as a slight. I'm not saying it's a slight. He's very young into his managerial career. He's only just started being
every week's the biggest. Every week's the biggest career.
This is the biggest week of his managerial career.
Every week's apparently the biggest week.
A massive Champions League
die.
Last
every 10 minutes he needs to go
on the easiest side of the draw. So it is a big week for him. Was it a pen in my eyes? No. I just wanted Talcum Glazer to make sure that he spoke about it because he only speaks about when other people have like correct decisions given with semi-automated technology. But when it's like human error clearly going wrong, he seems to go like a church mouse.
Khem, can I ask you a question though? Did the defender touch Madueke?
The defender was already on the ground and Madueke swung his foot back and clipped him.
It's a yes/no question. Did he touch
Madueke touched him. Pause. Madueke touched the defender, with his foot, pause, fell down, and the referee went for it. The guy deserves to have a penalty given away for recklessly diving, right? Diving in for a sliding tackle. Like, I think that was stupid. It was soft. I think it was soft. I'm just pissed because I see like people get headlocked.
Different case though, Khem.
I see players get headlocked.
Right. I know.
I'm just pissed at the lack of consistency once again. And I'm disappointed because it's Champions League refs this time. I can't even blame English gammons this time. So I don't know what to do.
Because that's a silly excuse, bro. Because historically in the Champions League, I've always felt, I don't know, these men can either agree or disagree. I felt like penalties and decisions have always been softer in Europe. That's generally the way things go. I remember us getting a really, really soft penalty against PSG in that massive comeback, right? And everyone was like, that is a proper European penalty to get given. It wouldn't have been given in the Premier League and blah, 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 blah. And I think this is the rare occasion where there was actually a bit of consistency, because we were on this pod, last week or the week back, when the referee gave a penalty and a red card for the pullback on Cunha. I think there's been a bunch of other soft penalties that have been given in the whole season, and this is the one time where it was consistent. You can disagree and think it's super soft, which I also agree, mad soft.
But it's also at the same time, different competitions.
That's what it is.
It's two different competitions, right? Just like you said, Champions League has always been much more harsh, and particularly remember on the handball rule. Do you remember like a couple seasons ago, they were given handballs for anything? Didn't matter if it came off your shoulder and then your arm. Didn't matter if it was hit from like a yard away. They were given handballs for everything. So I even think like the consistency in the Champions League is actually good, and that's where I think the PGMOL and the Premier League could probably learn from the Champions League. But when you start trying to blend that into the Premier League, then of course it's madness. Because I mean, we're going to get onto the Arsenal game yesterday, the Havertz one. Like that's, if you start comparing that to the Champions League, of course it's going to look ridiculous, because the Champions League actually has a consistent rule set and consistent application. The PL does not. And so if you start blending those two things together, of course it's going to look ridiculous, but they don't have the same application of the rules.
Yeah.
And that's probably the thing that needs to be sorted out. They need to be both applying the rules the same way.
Yeah, eventually they should, but I think that's more a case of the Premier League choosing to do things their own way and not conforming to the approaches of UEFA and FIFA and all that kind of stuff. That's why it took us so long to get in semi-automated offsides and all these other things, because we decided we didn't want to do it, right? So, but ultimately, I get it. We can dislike the rule or the interpretation, but to be honest, they applied it in the same way or similar way that it has been in the Premier League in throughout this season. So ultimately,
this is just Arsenal-induced stupidity. It's the exact same as like the Cunha one and a couple of other instances we've talked about this season, where like, was there contact? No. Was there a lot of contact? No. Was it soft? I think I said these exact words about the Cunha thing, where I was like, I didn't like it. If I was playing for the opposition team or I supported the opposition team, I would be like, that's quite peak. But like, it was by the law of the game a penalty, innit? Like, all of this, like, it's soft, this, that, and the other. That's neither here nor there. When we're talking about, was it a penalty? That's a on, off, yes, no, binary decision, innit? And the ref made one. And or the VAR, whichever way it went down, it went that way. And you know what? Yeah, like you said, like I think a more Stonewall penalty in the Prem went the other way against us in
let's talk about that
yesterday. Do you know?
Let's talk about that. The Havertz incident. So let's quickly go through. Do you man all agree penalty or no penalty? Because it wasn't given. There was contact. I believe the VAR's rationale was. It wasn't enough contact or not substantial contact. If I'm honest, lads, going first, I think that was a penalty. That's more of a penalty than the Madueke one. Don't know how it's not given. Khem, do you agree? Or do you think that also wasn't a pen to give? Feel free to go against, as you normally do.
Honestly, I think he threw himself down, man. But it was stupidness from the defender. Like he took a risk again by trying to make an attempt to put him back, but I don't think enough was done to send him flying like that, if I'm honest. But again, it's subjective, isn't it? It's a lot. It might just be a lot of hater in me as well. I think there's a substantial amount of hater going on, but no, it wasn't a penalty. He was looking for it, and it was disgraceful dive, and he should have been booked.
All right, we'll go to the Arsenal lads in a minute, but first of all, big up Jethro Hardy. I agree with you on everything you've put in the comments, by the way. Ken will read it eventually and probably get outraged. But Arsenal, man, I guess you lot all think it was a pen, yeah?
I appreciate it.
Yes.
It's actually even more embarrassing. It's
Like,
it was a blatant penalty.
I'm biased, but it was a penalty. Like, I think if that didn't get given against Arsenal, I would be like, oh, we got away with one there. Which, you know, I think we have gotten away with a couple this season. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. And I think I'm usually like, I'll put my hands up and be like, yeah, I think we got lucky. And you need luck if you're going to win games. You need luck if you're going to win the league. With a little bit of luck, you can make it to full time or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, yeah, like that's one that if that went against us, I would be like, all right, cool. That's a pen. Stupid move from the defender. I think it not being given just, yeah. But that's something I think we've said like a lot of the times as Arsenal fans, isn't it? Like previous seasons gone by when we're finishing second and we're not like finishing our dinner and that. We've kind of been like, okay, cool. Was the ref shit? Was the decision shaky? Cool, fine. Why didn't we put the ball in the net? The ref can't stop you if you just score more goals than the opposition. That's the point of football. Do you know what I mean? And it seems like even on those days, now we're getting a bit closer to getting results sometimes, which is very nice. And that's obviously not just down to, well, it's mainly down to our defenders, I would say.
But, yeah, I mean, let's talk about the game generally then, because apart from that incident, I think it wasn't the greatest game for the first like 70 odd minutes, and most of the big chances came for Everton. If we're speaking honestly, obviously McNeil hits the post, or like let's say the biggest moments, because Arsenal definitely had a lot of half chances before then, but hadn't really put anything away. But yeah, McNeil hits the post, Calafiori with a pretty acrobatic goal line clearance as well from McNeil again, and then yeah, the big moment really when things change in a positive way for Arsenal is when the youngster Max Dowman comes on and Gyökeres as well, and combine for a really late but massive goal. I think it was nigh on 90 minutes, wasn't it, in the end, where Gyökeres tucks it in. I think Hincapié ends up getting the assist somehow, ricochets off him and then bounces to Gyökeres, but Max Dowman with the great cross, and then the youngster finishes it off. John, what I know we talked a lot about Dowman earlier today when we were spending time together, but with such a big moment coming his way, and generally he just played really well. Do you think it's too far to like start him in any of these big games coming up, or do you think it's actually something that Mikel's got to consider?
No, I think we need to keep using him the way that we're using him. Right, he's 16. He literally is like not even done his GCSEs, bro. Like he's a young player. We have a deep squad for a reason. We spent a lot of money on it. We've got a lot of depth in a lot of different positions. We've also got a lot of kind of variety across them, right? Even when you saw Madueke switch to the right-hand side, Saka go into the middle and Martinelli come on, we've got a lot of like different options in terms of different styles. So I don't think we need to be starting him because, I mean, we've seen what happens with other players. You know, Saka's a great example, right? We play them too much. They're not fully like matured or grown yet. And then they get into the position where they might get injured. And I think that's the one thing we probably need to protect him on the most. I know that he is an exciting player and a really good player to watch, but I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves and start playing him in like really big matches, which could theoretically break him to a certain extent. And I'm not taking a piss here, but I mean, look at Kinski. He's 22. He's played games for Tottenham already. He comes into a big game. And I mean, people are making the argument that his career at Tottenham, at the very least, is over. And I'm not saying that he's necessarily like in that position. Like, I don't think as a right wing or an attacking player, you could be in that position as much to make such a disastrous error. But it just goes to show like these can be really, really important times for a player's development. So I don't want to go like see him starting games unless we're talking like a Mansfield type thing, right? Maybe Southampton in the FA Cup, I could see him starting just to get him some minutes. But at the same time, it's like we've got other players too that we want to try and get minutes. That we've got other players that we want to make sure they feel like they're part of the squad. So yeah, I feel like we need to go easy a little bit on him. I know that there's a lot of people already saying mad stuff about him too. We do need to just go easy on him and just let him kind of get his. He's going to have a long career at Arsenal, right? Like he's 16, right? We're already moaning about Nwaneri and Miles Skelly. He's not even close to that age, right? Like he needs to be given time. And the biggest thing is, he already had a serious injury, right? That's why he's not been part of our squads for a while now. He had a serious ankle injury, I think it was. So it can happen. So I think we just need to settle down. Don't bring too much attention to him. Don't have the Madrid scouts and whoever else looking at him. Everyone just calm down. Let him have his moment. Let's get happy. Let Madrid focus on Ungamoa. Let Dowman go under the radar a bit longer, bro.
Yeah, I hear it, man. I hear it. Razor, are you agreeing with this take, or are you gonna get giddy and start shouting for Super Max to Super Mick Arteta? MB says, big up for dropping a comment. But do you think Dowman needs to start, or are you also going to be level-headed like Johns?
And it was like, big up for dropping a comment. I don't like your comment, but big up.
Yeah, let's move on.
No. I think the Arsenal fan on this pod that you're going to get that sort of response from isn't here today. So, small mercies from the Lord above and whatnot. It is a Sunday. Yeah, no, I completely agree with Johns, to be fair. Like, he's young. It's exciting. And I definitely think he can play, like, key kind of moments in the season. But, like, I've seen some people throwing out some wild comparisons. There hasn't been any other Messis other than Messi. Do you know what I mean? Even, like, Lamine Yamal. Like, he's played pivotal role from young, and it's obviously had an effect. It's looking like it's had an effect on his, like, sort of ability to perform or his fitness already. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they were saying they're going to have to rest him more. You look at players like Rooney, incredible talent, came into the game around the same kind of age, didn't have the longest career. Obviously, he's Wayne Rooney. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't take anything away from his career. Arguably, his career is better than people who've had longer careers. But just from, like, a protection and a safeguarding perspective, I think you want to be mindful of all of those things. And the other thing is, modern football, especially the way that it's being played in the Premier League at the top levels, is a lot more physical, a lot more demanding, and there's a lot more fixtures than a lot of those comparisons that we're making historically. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's really important to protect Max, not just physically, but, like, also emotionally. Like, playing at the top level is it comes with a lot of scrutiny, and we're seeing 25 and 26-year-olds get, like, sucked into chatting online. Your players are focusing on trolling Arsenal on Twitter rather than playing football. Do you know what I mean? Thankfully, things have taken a little bit of an upturn for them, but it did because they had, like, 24 days of rest before their fixture. So I'm very glad. I'm very glad that, like, we've obviously got good examples to see how toxic the kind of, like, football Twitter space or the football social media landscape can be, but also the effect that can have on players. And he's 16. Do you know what I mean? Like John said, he hasn't done GCSEs. If we employed another way of saying it is, if we employed him for the social media derby, we could pay him a lower minimum wage because he's that young. You know what I'm saying?
Paper round settings.
He's like 2 years away from being able to buy Guinness, bro. Yeah, bro.
Like, changing a different changing room, bro. Like, we can't be
young.
And I want to say one thing, right? Anybody comparing him to Messi, if there are Arsenal fans doing this, please relax yourself. But any rival fans that are going to try and get onto this, just remember, John Terry said this. Right, John Terry made the comparison, not us.
He deserves a slap as well.
He needs to be watching Chelsea games, not Arsenal games. But apparently, he can't get any joy.
He needs multiple slaps.
Multiple slaps.
This just adds a long list of reasons why John Terry needs slaps. To be honest, and I was saying to you, and it wasn't a slight, but he's looked really good every cameo he's come on, like he's had for you lot, whether he's been playing in friendlies or whether it was Mansfield or whether he's coming off the bench. He's come off the bench multiple times and always looked really, really threatening. What that says about your other attackers, I don't know. But what it does say about him is he's ready for whatever time he gets on the pitch. I agree. We got to all chill, and starting him is probably not the smartest thing to do. It's probably the best way that you're doing it right now. But I do think everyone needs to chill, because the messy stuff that's galaxies away. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, though. I think that's just people getting carried away.
We need to chill out.
Getting carried away, though.
We've got a Lamine Yamal there who started at 16s, won Euros, played 100 games. What he's doing extracurricular that's causing injuries, whatever, we'll keep that to the side, yeah? But what he's doing on the football pitch, he's moving football crazy. Pitch, the football pitch, yeah. But like Max Dowman he's like a speck on that whole galaxy of Lamine Yamal, let alone Messi. Everyone needs to relax, and that's not a rival thing, because we've got our own fans chatting absolute wass about JJ Gabriel, whatever his name is. He hasn't even played a minute of professional football yet. We all need to just chill out. He needs to do a lot more that people need we go this crazy.
I agree that people need to chill out, but like I feel like it's just part of the thing. Okay, the thing when we talk about like Arsenal fans saying this or Chelsea fans saying that, and it like there are idiots in every single fan base. Like some fan bases potentially have more idiots than others, but that's to be debated and discussed and researched. You know what I mean? But like there are people that say dumb stuff, and there are also people that say stuff for attention on the internet. And like I don't think I've seen anything said about Max Dowman that I haven't seen. Not from anyone serious, but also that I haven't seen said about Esteval this season from a similar caliber of Chelsea fan, or also that I haven't seen about Rio this season, who, and like obviously the other two that I've just mentioned there, like in terms of Rio and Esteval, they've obviously played way more minutes and, playing devil's advocate, have done more things for their club to be worthy of those comparisons, but they're still ridiculous. Do you know what I'm saying? I think whenever someone bursts onto the scene at that point, some fans are going to get carried away in it. What we can't do is take those fans as the barometer of seriousness, because often they're idiots.
It's not a rival. It's not a rival thing. It's not an Arsenal thing. It's not a Liverpool thing or Chelsea thing with the players you've named. It's just fans getting giddy way too early. We did it loads. United have Khem will make fun of this all the time about all the different youngsters that we've overgassed super early on, and very few of them have actually achieved anything. I think the Rashford example has been a bit harsh because he's actually achieved quite a decent amount for us. Is it
like legendary?
Yeah, the Yanas. Like we've got so many you could name. Makeda. We've got a million that just did very little.
You're right. To be honest, you were saying mad stuff about Aiden Heaven the other day. You were saying mad stuff about Aiden Heaven the other day. You were. Yes, there are witnesses. You were saying crazy stuff.
No, this is the delusional Arsenal coming out in all of you, man. In the group. But that's not.
You sounded like you'd been on the booger sugar. That's how crazy what you were saying.
You need to relax. You need to relax. But no, with Dowman, I do agree. Just keep it going as it has been, and just see what he can, what he can do in these. No,
I think you made a good point. That I want to make a point quickly, though, is the point that you made about our other attackers. This is the only thing that I'm going to say to them. Look at how fearless he plays football. Please try to model yourselves on that, right? When you're getting brought on in the 80th minute at 0-0, please try do something, right? Like take the game by the scruff of the neck and do something with it. Please don't come on, start passing it sideways and backwards as if you're not a winger, bro. Especially if you're a Brazilian one. Especially if you're Jinky Madweki. Please look at this 16-year-old. Look at the fact that he's got balls of steel. And go and do something with the ball. No, I know it's harsh on Noni because Noni really does. But even it's harsh on Gabriel, on Martinelli, because he goes after players. But my point is, look at what he's doing, able to make an impact as a 16-year-old. Please try to model yourself around trying to do that. Because I don't want to get to the point where everyone's turning into Io and saying that we need to bring on a 16-year-old in the fucking Champions League final, right? And that's the direction that we should be going in. So I just want to make sure that we don't ever have to get to that point, because the next time Io's on this podcast, I guarantee you he's going to make that point.
Yeah, I think swollen lips have saved us from that from that trouble this week. But yeah, we'll move on past that. Anyway, you guys in great position, 9 points clear now. Obviously, City got a game in hand. You've also got the big game at the Etihad in April as well. So yeah, in a great position. And yeah, at the end of I will say at the end of that match, there were a lot of vibes of this was a massive, massive game in terms of defining the where the title was going to go at the end of the season. So, yeah, big win for you guys, and it's definitely put you in a better mood after that Leverkusen game. But let's move on. Let's go on to Liverpool. The man with the Northern Lights has not avoided this. We're not skipping any clubs. Even poor Rhys. Look at him down the bottom. Thanks for joining. Big up, bro. He's got a chat about Chelsea in a bit, so it can get worse than Liverpool, bro. But Galatasaray 1-0. Should have been 2-0. Man's gone back to Norway. Struggle. Absolute struggle. And Konate, Van Dijk. I don't know, Khem. You're probably going to defend Van Dijk because you love to do that. But surely you weren't happy with that performance in Istanbul.
I didn't watch it.
So
I was happily on a sabbatical, so I couldn't comment. But so much for getting revenge on Galatasaray. They fucking did the exact same thing as the first game. They conceded early and couldn't do anything about it. So, yeah, same old shit with Arne Slot. Literally the exact same. The only thing that changed was that Galatasaray enabled more like wheelchair accessibility for our fans, which, we know how intense they can be to match the intense Turkish crowd, but again, brought nothing. Are you flying to Turkey twice and not even come out with a fucking goal? Both games also had a goal with us disallowed involving Konate as well. It's the same. It's literally the same bad dream repeated months apart. So those highlights were crap. Thankfully, the Finnish YouTube is shite, so I didn't actually get to see the highlights properly anyway. It's only like a minute of fucking useless stuff. But I did see that. I think they showed a second goal. I don't really know how or why it was disallowed.
I think it was
offside. Was it?
Yeah,
was it
but
offside?
it was. I think it was Yilmaz, and he wasn't actually affecting the play.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
He wasn't involved in the play, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be consistent because I've said that before with things that have gone our way. Like I think it should have been given. I think ours should have been given because I think it did hit Konate's hand, but he was sort of fouled into it, like he was pushed the same way that Forest guy was allegedly pushed into handballing it against Thing. So I think either way it's an L. It's either 2-0 or 2-1. I'm not gonna. I don't think they deserved anything. But yeah, poor performance from the team. Not new information. Nothing to report on them lot. Virgil, yeah, he had a bad game. Konate had a terrible game as well. It's interesting how whenever the Real Madrid rumours come back around again, he loses all ability. He's been crap for a couple of games, so it's funny with him, man. Like, you're better off just saying you're going or just sign something, man, because whenever you try and keep it silent and finish the season off, it's just not working out. So they were both dog shit. Yeah, and the midfield got overrun as usual. Like, really poor game. Yeah, most players ghosted. The attackers were ghosted as well. Like, good chances missed as well. Yeah, disappointing. And then that goes for today as well. But I guess we're focused on the Champions League game. But yeah, I'm glad I missed it, man. I had better things to do, thankfully, that day than watch that pile of shit. Yeah, it's yeah. Like, I want us to do well in the Champions League. It's exciting. It's Liverpool, but I don't have any faith in them to actually get it done. Our record at Anfield in the competition at home hasn't actually been that good in recent years either, despite our history with it. We had a good run in 2022, but most of those wins on the run to the final was like done in the away game. Like Inter, we won away, but actually technically lost, I think, at home. And then even with Benfica, we won away convincingly, but we actually technically drew in that fateful game where Klopp fell in love with Darwin. I think Villarreal was the only comfortable win, but it's Villarreal. But then again, both your clubs couldn't get it done against them recent times. But yeah, so
in saying all this, it's only a 1-0. It's only a 1-0.
No, that's the thing.
You really
I don't
think that they come to Anfield and you still can't get it over the line? Because this might be the only thing that you've got a chance of winning.
Again, everything is in our favor, right? You'd think it would be the case. Even I'm pretty sure their fans are banned from traveling as well. So like, it's at home against a mediocre team where their crazy support that loves to trash stadiums can't even get there, and I still think he'll find a way to fuck it up. So, that's a bad thing because that's our season done probably. But then it's a good thing because then I get that 10 a.m. announcement that he's gone, man. So like, with recent results in the competition, like Atalanta have spanked us, albeit in Europa League. The game last year against PSG, we actually had a goal lead going into the game and we let in an early goal. I don't know. I don't really trust him to actually get it done. Really, I could see it being a draw. If we win, that's great. But I don't know. I don't know. I think that they're going to be up for it, big time, and they might put in a historic performance for their team. So nothing.
Are you swapping between the word "we" and the word "they"?
We is the club and the players. They is the coaching staff. When I say they, I don't know, man, because the plan just keeps changing. The one thing I can be sure of is the Szoboszlai right back fetish will continue because, like I said, even though we're not talking about Spurs game yet, he's still going to end up there. You could have Frimpong on the pitch, you could have Gomez on the pitch, you could have Ramsey on the bench. Man, you'll still have Szoboszlai at right back. I'm so sick of it. It's actually our best player this season. The guy who can actually cover the most ground in the midfield and the press. And let me just put him out. The only one that's playing well this season. Let me put him out of position. What does that say? Like, what are we doing here, man? This is just a joke, man. This guy's. I think he won Player of the Month for the club, which is an easy thing to win. But he's won it for the 4th time this season. Let me play him out of position, innit? No wonder he's not signing an extension, by the way. He's probably fucking off to Madrid soon as well, let's face it. But yeah, everything about the Galatasaray game was embarrassing. I'm going to conclude it with this, yeah. When I saw the highlights, I also saw Szoboszlai with his hair braided, yeah. So he went to Turkey and this guy had his hair braided.
Yeah, he looked like he was the third sister. He looked like he was going to come out with Tia and Tamara for a second.
He looked like he gave people swollen lips.
Wowza. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I don't know why you think Real Madrid want all of your shitty players. I don't think they do. But also with this Galatasaray thing, bro, trust me, I know this as well from a diabolical group stage against Galatasaray. You're going to be in pain. If you go out to Galatasaray, you best believe the next time you show your face on this pod, it's a wrap, bro. They're not a great team. And for you to go out to Galatasaray without their crazy fans in your historic, scary Anfield with the tight pitch and all this bollocks, you better watch your back, son.
There's been nothing scary about Anfield this season, man. There's been nothing scary about Anfield this season. And also, this version of Galatasaray is still better than the one that you guys face. Don't even try that one, man.
Debatable.
Context is still key. They didn't have Osimhen up front. They didn't have Batman up front then.
Anfield has been quite scary this season.
For Liverpool fans. And
for Arsenal, but for everyone else, it's been nice.
Well, I don't know, it's also been pretty boring as well. So if you actually enjoy the game, it's not been pretty good to watch anything there.
Talking of Anfield, let's move to Liverpool Spurs 1-1. Yeah, I just watched a clip where there was a Tottenham fan.
Don't you want Spurs relegated? Why are you celebrating, you odd guy?
Bro, you know what?
Spurs can get relegated and you can be depressed at the same time. The two things are not mutually exclusive.
Ideally, separate. Yeah, separate. And we want both of them. But yeah, ends 1-1. Szoboszlai scores a free kick, apparently with max power. In reality, it was biscuit wrists. Vicario.
It was Adriano Pez 2006.
Bro, Tottenham... I'll tell you what, we'll get to Rhys in a minute with the Chelsea goalies, but Tottenham's goalies, you guys are going back and forth about who's got the biggest clowns in goal. You think Kinski had the worst experience ever at Atletico Madrid, and then Vicario does that. Diabolical. I mean, it was a good strike, but it was pretty central. I think Carragher on comms even said, you've got a free kick specialist and Tottenham don't have a goalkeeper specialist in goal. That stinks. So, yeah, that goal was diabolical. But, yeah, you don't put them away. And I think I was saying to Jonts, at 1-0, Tottenham are still in this at half-time. And then, yeah, we get the alert. Richie Ladd has equalised in the 90th minute. We watched the highlights. And Kolo Muani is doing his best Tolu impression, absolutely moving Van Dijk out of here. And, Richie Ladd scuffs it in the bottom corner, 1-1. And Jonts also told me there was a penalty shout, which I didn't see. But, yeah, 1-1. If you're not already raging based on the Galatasaray game, Khem, what are you saying about this one? Because you're now, fifth, 1 point ahead of Chelsea, but this was a big opportunity for you to level on points with Villa and start putting pressure on top four.
Not raging, though, because I said to you pre-game, which you tried to accuse me of shaking, I said, I can see us fucking this up. I actually said to you all, I said, back-to-back draws with Spurs and Gala, and I'm free from this nightmare. Like, the manager... Freaking Igor Tudor doesn't even recognize the slot. Like, he's just patting any fucking bold guy he sees before the game, like he's some default fan. Like, this shit needs to end. It's getting embarrassing. I can't wait for them to drop more merch from the 1990s to try and distract everyone from how shit they're looking again. Like how you guys used to move. It's actually actually such a joke. This what's going on here. They're doing like adverts with Robbie Fowler and stuff, pretending it's a shop and stuff. It's I don't know what's going on, but. Yeah, I mean, Wirtz was a bit of a ghost. The whole plan was really to just kick it to our 17-year-old and then just see what he can do. Like, that's the state of play right now with his team is let's see if he can win the game for us. And it was his first Premier League start, which is crazy. And I thought he played well. He done his best trying to take his player on, maximizing what he can do, and then he needs to get sub because he would have got tired. But that's not a good look, man. You spend all that money, you don't know what your best team is. You continue with the Szoboszlai right back fetish, and then you're relying on a 17-year-old to do the wonders as usual. Slow pace of play. Don't put the game away. Vicario made a really good save. To be fair, I think it was Gakpo, the shot that he put it onto the post. And he diverted another good one. So credit to him, considering he could have done better with the Max Power goal. I don't think it was savable. If he tried to, he probably would have broken his hand. So it's best that he let it go in. But, they should have put the game away. But Spurs they were always in it. Richarlison, I think Alisson kept us in the game at points as well. Like, I think they had some good chances that he managed to clear or navigate. I don't think Robertson and Van Dijk were in control of the back line, and that showed at the end. And then that typical inevitable Chiesa sub at the end to try and rescue things. It's the same shit every week. It's just either you start Salah or you bench him mid-game. I don't know how McAllister is actually starting matches because that guy has aged 20 years since last summer. I don't know what's happened to him. He can't move. Ekitike didn't really do great when he came on. He was kicking field goals. Salah was kicking field goals. Gakpo was kicking field goals. So I'm not even mad at it. Like, I don't understand how he survived November when we lost 3 straight with an aggregate of 1 goal scored and 10 conceded against City, who are clearly washed, against Forest, who are fighting for their lives and sacked that manager who beat us, and against PSV, who I don't even think they even made it to the playoffs. Like, I don't know how he's still here. I understand they want to back their guy, but at some point you have to just pull the trigger, man, because it's like you either be free flowing and like fun to watch going forward, and you're kind of shitty at the back, or you're struggling to score goals, but you know that you're resolute at the back and you can deal with set players and all that kind of stuff, and then you just figure it out by getting some creative players in. But we have neither. We're boring as fuck. We lost the cup final a year ago, literally like a year ago to this date, and we've been shit ever. I keep saying to you guys, it's not even like a season to season change. Like, we've been shit for a year, man. I posted that thing earlier as well. What was it? Since we won the league, we've won 14 or 33 games since we actually played Spurs last time at Anfield. I said it months ago. He's Brendan, isn't it? I said it months ago when Jonty hosted the pod because you ducked one time, I think, and I think it was your Hong Kong trip. But like, he's Brendan just without the slip. Like, swap the Suarez mad season with the Salah mad season, and that's all it is, man. He's just. I don't know what we're still doing here. Like, I'd just put I'd actually Jay Spearing onto the end of the season, fucking Ryan Giggsy to the end of the season. I don't care anymore. I just can't see this guy changing anything. And I think Richard Hughes needs to go as well because.
Oh wow, the laptop boys, anti-laptop boys, yeah.
Well, the problem is
you sounded like Rhys. You sounded like Rhys, man.
The problem is I've got time. Edwards is the guy who brought in most of the people from the past and done well, so I'll give him grace. But his role isn't really that anymore. He's above that. He's trying to do the whole multi-club shit, get his own Strasbourg or whatever. But like, Hughes has come in. The first season only gave the guy Chiesa. Struggled with the contract situations as well. He couldn't even sign. First of all, he couldn't even sign a guy from Zubimendi. He lost out in a bidding war to Sociedad, and their presentation was to show the guy food and fucking mountains.
So he lost. He's waiting for a proper club.
No, he's waiting for his uncle to give him minutes, like he gives Odegaard minutes and Marino minutes. That's why, really. Doesn't matter. We found better with Gravenberch, but he lucked out with that one. But then, as much as we got the players that we wanted. I'm not going to take it away. I'm happy with how the summer went, more or less. Like, I'm not going to turn it around and be like, oh yeah, no, they could have done more X, Y, Z. I was happy with the summer. We all gave it an A or A+ or whatever at the time. I'm not going to rewrite history. But it's not really great negotiation, is it, if you break your transfer record twice? Like, you're not really a wizard of a sporting director and negotiate. You got a good deal for Diaz, I suppose, but really, like, the other one was to Saudi for Nunez. Like, they're going to pay for anyone. But like, spending 100 million on a guy followed by 120 million on another guy is not like great sporting director work in terms of like, you know, sort of making the other club like look kind of shitty, like finessing them. You're not finessing anyone when you break your transfer record twice in a matter of weeks. He's not. Are
you saying that you overpaid for them?
I'm not saying I overpaid for them. I just don't think he's that great. He let 3 contracts run all the way to the end of the season and lost one of them. And then you're doing it again with Konate. It's going to happen again, potentially, with people like Szoboszlai. Apparently, McAllister wants a release clause. Curtis Jones is one that's running down. You got Robertson technically as well. He was, you know, there was talks of him going to Spurs in January. There was talks of Curtis Jones going in January as well. It's happening again where players' contracts are running down repeatedly. So yeah, I could joke about Rio going to other clubs, etc., but that could be him in the future. He could turn out pretty good. And then we have a situation where he fucks off like Raheem Sterling did. So I just don't really rate this guy as a sporting director long term because he's not done anything to actually wow me in terms of, you know what I mean, bringing in like an undercover gem. Like you spent on...
He won some pretty big...
But the problem is, he's Edwards' mate. So Edwards ain't going to fire his friend. So I need him to actually like, I don't know, someone from the Middle East to try and take him and put him as part of their program to like improve shit. That's the only way he goes because I just don't rate him. I just don't think he's done anything that's worthwhile. And he's not going to fire Slot because obviously he brought in Slot. He's the one that's backed him with all this money. So I think this is where the problem lies. I think there's just too much ego in the boardroom. Salah tried to speak about it and they tried to kill him. So yeah, I don't know where we stand with this.
I love this player FC that Khem's doing. I'm liking it.
Yeah, this is a strange U-turn / like wild deviation in Khem's. Yeah, that was a solid 17-18 minutes of Khem on wide range of topics. Since we're talking directors, I feel like it's a natural segue to you, Rhys, because I know you love to chat about them. 1 point ahead, they've done you a favour, right? After your results, last 2 Prem results. What do you make of it? Do you feel like more encouraged watching Liverpool struggle?
No. I mean, have you seen my defence? Nah, because either way, we'll somehow manage to fuck it up anyway. Like, I mean, we're terrible. So, I mean, it's anyone's game, but I think everyone should take notice that with this whole coefficient thing and the English teams maybe not so, because you could have a situation where City go out, we go out, and Liverpool go out, and then the coefficient doesn't look so good. So I think it will be only top 4. So, I mean, we could both miss out if we don't fix up, and Villa maybe find a bit of form. So, it's still anyone's game. And Chelsea have given me absolutely no confidence that we can come and take 4th spot. I mean, I was sitting here saying we're in the top 4 race. We're in the top 6 race now.
Bro, it keeps dropping. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it does kind of look like bum fights between you, Villa, and Liverpool at the moment.
Yeah,
like, I would include us, but we're one of the only teams in that crop that actually are slightly consistent. But the rest of you guys are definitely moving like you don't know whether you want it, you don't want it. And by the way, that coefficient chat is a good point, by the way, Rhys. But if only 3 clubs go out, that'll be a result. Because you haven't mentioned Spurs on the way out, definitely. Newcastle could go out. It could literally only be Arsenal that make it through to the next round. And then, I mean, even Arsenal, that's in the balance as well, 1-1. You'd expect them to go through. But, like, if 1 out of 6 English teams go through, and then you also have to look at the Europa, where I think Forest are down, Villa are up, so they may go through. And then you look at the Conference League, which shouldn't really matter, but it is included. I think Palace drew, they could go out. So, I mean, we could really shit the bed in Europe in the space of 2 days, and top 5 doesn't exist, and it's literally top 4, which if that is the case, 1 spot between the 3 of you, I think it's going to go down to the last game of the season.
Yeah,
I don't think that's not controversial, right?
I think it also depends on how, obviously, the other teams maybe progress in the FA Cup or whatever. But yeah, I think most definitely it could come down to the wire, especially based on form, if form's anything to look at.
Yeah. I mean, before we move on to Chelsea, and yeah, I know you probably want to dodge it, Rhys, but we've got to touch on the PSG game and then also the Newcastle game. Arsenal lads, any joy in seeing Spurs get a draw at Liverpool? I know you ultimately we want Liverpool to fail. I'm involved in that as well as a United fan, but Spurs going down is probably a nice bonus for you guys. What did you make of the game?
Nah, man, I've got to keep the energy consistent here. We were dissing all of them when they were talking about Man City. They had nothing on the line. It was purely so that we could lose. This, in my case with this game, it's just funny. Like, don't really care who wins it or who loses it. Regardless of what happens, it's funny, right? If Liverpool win and Spurs lose, it's funny. If Spurs win and Liverpool lose, it's funny. If they draw, it's funny because they're both in disgusting form. So I'm not rooting for anyone. At the end of the day, it's just funny to watch, and I'm gonna keep myself out of it. I'm just trying to see an entertaining game, and with Spurs, they're so shit. It's entertaining. With Liverpool, they're so shit and not entertaining. But it's like there was something funny was going to come out of this game one way or the other. So I'm just happy to watch it. Don't really care who wins or loses. Still, I mean, Spurs, they're only 1 point or whatever off. Is it 1 point ahead of the teams behind them, like Forest and West Ham? So, I mean, they're still fully within the bounds of getting pulled into the relegation battle, which will also be funny. So I'm just here for the vibes and the jokes.
Yeah, absolutely. I never liked Everton, but I did like relegation Richarlison because he's such a shitbag, and you need a shitbag striker when you're in a relegation scrap. And him going to Spurs has kind of robbed us of relegation, Richie. But he is fully back and activated. I can't lie. Like, he looked like the most likely out of the entire Spurs team. And I think if I was a Liverpool fan, I think the most concerning thing would be that Spurs looked likely quite a few times. Like, they had chances. Richarlison had quite a few chances. I actually think he ended up scoring.
Should have got a pen as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he actually ended up scoring probably one of the more, like, the chances where he had more to do. Like, he had some, like, bread and butter Richarlison headers that I thought he was gonna bury and he didn't. And then the pen, like, Van Disney got very, very lucky on that. I think had that been given, it probably would have been here along the spectrum of the kind of pens that we were talking about earlier in terms of maybe the strikers bought it a bit, but it is a pen and it looked like a pen. And the replays and the slow-mos and the still frames, which I know Khem and Antony have had some conversations about. But yeah, they all made it look more like a pen. So I think, yeah, they got lucky. But ultimately, Liverpool were wasteful. Like, I think, I think a very wise Liverpool fan that we sometimes have on the show, he's on today, we're saying about, like, when you go and play one of the worst sides in the league, you can't just like not be converting your chances. Do you know what I'm saying? Albeit he did say that before his side lost to the worst side in the league and then drew to one of the other worst sides in the league based on form. But I think it was wise, and I think the point was sage, and I think it's pertinent now. But yeah, Liverpool were wasteful and they got punished for being wasteful. But the most important thing to remember is you absolutely love to see it. It's great, isn't it? It's so good.
Also, just so we know, the Szoboszlai free kick was not a free kick. Go back and watch that Verts dive. If we're gonna talk about Madueke, that was a dive and a half, bro.
I can I just say, yeah, I feel bad for Biscuit Wrists because you're comparing him to Kinski, who, like, I'm not saying Vicario is not shit, but the thing with Szoboszlai now, yeah, is that, like, it's so intimidating. It must be so intimidating if you're in the wall or if you're the goalie when he gets a free kick in that little range, because you know that he can absolutely just fucking scuff it and it is going top bins either side, especially when it's in that kind of space. And I think basically I feel bad for him because I think it was bad goalkeeping, but I think it's not because of his biscuit wrists. I think it was more like terrible positioning, and he basically lined himself and his wall up.
He's coming up against a set piece specialist, right? It's like what people talk about when Rhys or Saka step up to a corner, right? They're all shivering, they're shaking, as Khem would say. Now, when Liverpool, diving and kicking it off people's shins so they can get a free kick, yeah, you got the same feelings. You see, you see Legolas step up with his tiny little feet to the free kick. You're thinking, oh shit, this doesn't even have to go in the top corner, and I might still let this in. So at least that's one thing, Khem, that you can be happy about, is that you scored a set piece again today. So well done.
Set piece again, ole.
Yeah, he's one off the tying the record for direct free kicks, so can take Beckham's chain.
What a disgrace. You men are acting like he's Juninho Pernambucano or something like that. I'm not having it. You got to save that, man. I know it's not some shook thing where you got to be worried that he's going to blast
Adriano it. Pez 2006, man. He'd have broken his hand if he got more on that.
It's not power. It was just Vicario was worrying about top bins, and he just put it in the least binsy area of the goal.
To be fair to him, a couple of Szoboszlai's free kicks have gone in the keeper's side as well. I think Bournemouth and one of the Champions League games, he's done it. So you're going to be like, shit, which side is he going to go? I think he done it to City. So, like, that's City. Where he's also not a great goalkeeper to judge. His footwork is
talking like Lewis Hamilton out here. What are you doing, man? Why are you talking like Lewis Hamilton? City.
Don't be dissing my twin. But yeah, at least like Vicario's not a good goalie. He's conceded like 11. What was it? Hasn't he got double-digit conceded goals? I think from long range. That's terrible.
I was actually going to say this. Right? I feel like we're being harsh on Kinski because he slipped over on a pitch that's notoriously very like fucking oily. I think both of his big mistakes to let goals in against Atletico were actually more defensible than Vicario slapping it into his own fucking net.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Goalkeepers union, I back that. I know Kinski did 2 in the same match, but that I mean, what is the point of a goalie if he can't save something that's on the palm of his hand? That stinks. I'm sorry.
He's probably getting an X-ray right now, and his hand is busted.
Oh, yeah, sure. He's got a fracture in it. But anyway, let's move on from this. Let's move on from this, man. Liverpool stink, and I love it. And Spurs are still in relegation, trouble. So
I want to hear more about PSG though, because I was told world champs and all that. World champs.
We're going to get to that.
Shut up and let him host the show. Yeah,
we're going to get to it, but we have to do the weekly now. Tottenham going down. We do that every week. I haven't forgot about it. They are going down. Jonts, Tottenham going down.
Yes.
All right, another yes. Khem, Tottenham going down?
No.
No. Razor, Tottenham going down? Oh man, no Rhys pauses.
It's not.
Come on.
It's,
Yes
it's,
or no?
it's not looking. It's not looking good. I think yes.
All right, another yes. Rhys, Tottenham going down? Yes or no?
They've got against Nottingham Forest to save themselves this week. So no, not yet. Not in my opinion. But I think I was yes last week. I can't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to say one thing on that, right? 4 out of their next 8 games, so 4 of their last games are against teams that have something to play for. They've got Villa and Chelsea both playing for a Champions League spot, essentially. They've got Leeds, they've got Forest, bro. These are going to be fucking hard games. Like, they've got Everton, who maybe ain't got nothing to play for. Brighton at that point ain't got nothing to play for. But, bro, 4 of those 8 games, the ones that are arguably the easiest, are against teams that have shit to play for. That's going to be harsh, especially if Igor Tudor is still there.
And Tottenham famously have looked like they have nothing to play for the entire season. So yeah, I do agree with Jonty, but that's why I've swung. I think last week I wasn't on the pod. Week before I said I'm not convinced that they're going down. In that time, I've become convinced.
Yeah, we've got 3 yeses and 2 nos. Last week we were a full house of all yeses, so I don't know if we're just impacted by this big draw that they've managed to get, but I'm pretty sure they're going to take a slapping by Atletico Madrid in midweek, and we'll all be back on the Tottenham going down train. But all right, let's move on to Chelsea. 5-2 defeat in midweek, 2-2 up until, I don't know, the 70-odd minute or 80-odd minute. Another goalkeeping mistake, but this time from Jorgensen. 3-2, and then Kvaratskhelia bangs in 2 goals late on to make it 5-2. Rhys, I know this is a tough one, man, because I actually think for large periods, Chelsea, I don't know what you, man, think, but I think Chelsea did pretty well. PSG looked very, very vulnerable. But ultimately, you come away from Paris with a 5-2 L. How are you feeling, bro?
I mean, I'm numb. Doesn't really bother me anymore. No, I think it's just another example of what I've said before, like on the pod, like us being the masters of our own downfall, shooting ourselves in the foot, that type of thing. I 100% put that game on Rossinha more than anything. I think his decision to drop Sanchez was wrong. It just... Because basically what you got to look at is you've got one keeper that's trying to get his form back, who's slowly building it up. I've said how he's getting better slowly. There were certain things where he has his moments, where he did have his bozo moments, but he was getting it back. And then you drop him for another keeper who's barely played, who we know is not good enough, who we know doesn't have the confidence. And then you want to play out from the back. Not like, because, all right, you can play out from the back, but you can mix it up as well, bruv. Like, PSG are like one of the most intense pressing sides you'll ever play against. But you're naive enough to go and play with a high line and pass out from the back. It just doesn't make sense. So I think as much as you want to blame Jorgensen, I think you have to blame Rossinha first, because if you look at the Club World Cup game as well, you could see Maresca, he was mixing it up a lot. Like, Sanchez's distribution was one of the reasons that we played so well, because he could go long at times. So I think, from there, we just kind of, just because we was in the game for 74 minutes. I think, I don't remember them having clear-cut chances, even... Okay, the first goal, but the second goal came from a chance from us, like Palmer, at one end. They go down the other end and score, and then Enzo box crashing as he always does, and then it's 2-2. And then why not at that point shut up shop and just hold what you've got, go long, stop them, because they were pressing so intensely. You can't play out from the back all the time like that. So I just feel like at that point, 74 minutes, why not just hold it? Or like even at 3-2, 4-2, like there's still like, I just feel like Rossinha went for that game when at points he shouldn't have. I think PSG, the chances they had in the second half particularly was the one Jorgensen gave to them, and then the two Kvaratskhelia goals. And this, don't get me started on the first one, because as much as it was a class goal, like we need to get out pressing like quicker than we should. So I just feel like, we had it all in our hands and then we just let it all go. That poor mistake. I just think we capitulated. Everyone lost confidence and then we just fell apart. I think Glenn Hoddle said something in commentary. He goes, I'd like to put Jorgensen in midfield and give him a pass like he did to Palmer, I think it was, and see how he likes it, because it just doesn't make sense. Like you'll be impressed, like close to your goal. Why would you pass the ball there? Just hit it long. So I just think, from there, we just fell apart. And then it goes to what I've said from the start of this pod, is the lack of experience, particularly in defence. Like we had Colwell got injured. We had a chance to replace him. Never did. So it's the same old story. So, and then obviously you've got the quotes that this idiot Rossinha is coming out with, like constantly, just like making us look even worse and more like a banter club. What did he say? Hold on, let me see what he said. He said in the Champions League, in the Premier League, sorry, there's no Doué, no Ousmane Dembele, and no Kvaratskhelia or Vitinha. Well, mate, you couldn't play against Anthony Gordon and Joe Willock for 90 minutes. What the fuck you worried about them for? Like, it's just everything he says is just a massive cover up to like, to maybe like pull the wool over our eyes about what's actually going on with this club. And it's just like, it's the last, if the last few games against Arsenal, Newcastle and PSG have taught me, is he's looking out of his depth. Like, and like the games we were winning, like we were conceding goals and like coming back from deficits to win games. So it's not been like, it's been bumpy, like, and the new manager bounce has gone. And I think, like I said before, he needs to start earning his money when the games get tougher, and he's not earning it. So I just feel like the whole thing is just a prime example of what's going on upstairs at this football club. The decision making, the 100 directors of football we've got, the egos, the sort of constant like belief that this project will work. It's just prime example that it's not. And if we don't get top 4, shame on them, because they had a chance to back the manager Maresca at an important time. They never did. And now they've come in with Rossinha, who they've nicked off Strasbourg, done some lazy recruitment because they couldn't be bothered to go out and find someone that actually would take the job. And this is the situation we've got now. We're scrapping for top 4 when we was comfortable not so long ago. So that's the kind of...
I want to ask one question though, like, because obviously that there's a lot been going around about Enzo flipping out at Jorgensen, like throwing the ball at him. I get your point on Rossinha, right? And I get your point about, he's looking a little bit out of his depth. The only thing I'll say, and maybe it's not an accurate parallel, but the thing I would say is, like, I remember when Arteta first came in, like there's a whole like refreshing of the squad that needs to happen, right? He clearly can't trust his players. I think Rossinha's been pretty clear that he can't trust a lot of his players as well, and he's been learning about who he can trust and who he can't trust. The stuff that he's saying in the media is madness, but at the same time, I kind of feel like, I mean, Arteta was saying madness at the beginning too, just to defend his players and to kind of build that camaraderie. I guess my point is, like, you've got players on that pitch that I would argue are significantly better and more trusted than the ones that we first had when Arteta first came in. And I get that there's blame on him, but surely like a player like Fernandes, man, like he's won a World Cup. He costs 9 figures. He's supposed to be, is he not your vice captain? If he's not your captain, right? Behind Rhys James, he's your vice captain. I know Jorgensen's not great, but man's throwing the ball at him. Like, surely there's got to be some blame on these man as well.
I think he threw the ball down, but I think his point to Jorgensen was go wider instead of going more central. He's basically stressing at him because every pass, Jorgensen's trying to play it into midfield. Like, are you a midfielder? So he's just basically saying at times go long. So he was just getting fed up. I don't think he was like throwing the ball at him, but yeah, no, Enzo needs to step up as well. I think he was awful against Newcastle. I saw it firsthand, and I think he's showing that if he can't box crash, like he's not affecting the game like he should. So yeah, I do think it's on the players as well. But we've said that time and time again, we can't trust certain members of this team. Like, and also, like, I just wouldn't. The prime example against Newcastle, watching Antony Gordon fly past Fofana for like while he jogs, and I think it was Trev that got caught out as well with Willock. Like, you can't play this high line. It's ridiculous. You cannot play it with this team. Like, we're getting caught out. It was, and the thing is, at the Newcastle game, that's what all Newcastle were doing. They were just waiting for us to push forward, because all we did was pass side to side, because we can't break down a low block. 4 years we've had these fucking sporting directors, and they haven't found a solution to this low block that we seem to face every fucking week against these teams. Like, and then like Newcastle would just get the ball, go use Antony Gordon, and they're gone. Like, Gusto, I'll give him his due. Like, he was pretty much running up and down himself against Newcastle, but he was getting beaten time and time again. And it's not good enough. Like, I'm sick of these performances. I'm sick of being told to show patience and wait for this team to show an elite, because apparently it's so fucking obvious we're building something special. Okay, well, tell me what is special about this fucking team. Like, because I can't see it. I can't see it, man. And it's just like, you have a solid foundation of about 5 or 6 that you could probably rely on, but you just don't support it with no experience whatsoever. So I just think if we don't get top 4, I'm going to be disappointed, but good, you wankers.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. The rage is very much valid. But yeah, the PSG, before we go to Newcastle properly, but I mean, you definitely gave Newcastle the perfect dress rehearsal for Barcelona, where they're going to try and do the exact same thing against the high line. You gave them perfect chance.
Do you know what was mad as well? I think Newcastle rotated about 5 or 6 players.
Yeah, they did.
Team. We kept the same team. I think the only change was the goalkeeper. So he not only has he not rotated, which shows me the game's already gone against PSG, but not only has he not rotated, he's gone for this Newcastle game, and he still hasn't won. Like, what? Like, what? Like, he didn't freshen it up. So he's not going to play the same team against PSG, so we're obviously going to get battered. But yeah, like, he's obviously kept his strongest team, and it hasn't pulled off, while Newcastle rotated and are ready to go to Barcelona and defend whatever they can. So it's just, yeah, man, poor management from the top down.
Yeah. Razor, what do you make of both of these games? We'll move on to the Chelsea-Newcastle game. Chelsea lose 1-0. Antony Gordon with the only goal of the game. What do you make of all this? Because obviously there's Rosinia stuff as well. He had terrible quotes after that game as well. I mean, respect the ball and all this kind of shit.
And what a goal it was. I think one of the pundits referred to it as like a sweat, like on FIFA.
It was sweaty.
It was a sweaty finish, but do you know what wasn't sweaty? Was it Tonali who broke the lines with that pass? Did I make that up?
Good midfielder.
I can't.
No,
yeah,
he did.
Mate, that pass, unbelievable. The run from Willock, to split the defense. He like holds off the. It's honestly, it's a work of art. Yeah, but it's also Joe Willock. Sorry, hold tight Willock, innit? Like, I rate him. I rated him from Arsenal days, innit? But bruv, that's a Haaland run. you man let Willock move like Haaland.
I mean, defending stinks. Rhys talked about it with Fofana letting Gordon, like, he was 5 yards ahead of Gordon, and in the space of 15 yards, he was 5 yards behind Gordon. Like,
no, it's when Willock shielding the ball from Rhys James. Rhys James is not trying to get there. It's so funny. But yeah, Cole Palmer can't hit the target unless the ball's on the penalty spot. Sanchez is just like in terms of, do you know what the thing is with your goalkeeper like situation? Yeah, I don't think you've got any goalkeepers that look like they're capable of playing the football that you want to play. Like I said, I've defended, I think, Sanchez on here a couple times this season where I've been like, I don't think he's that bad, but I feel like Chelsea are asking him to do things that he's not good at. And I think that was a similar thing that happened in your game against PSG, not to rub salt in the wound. But I think you had a keeper that isn't cut out for that life, essentially. And you've basically got an ask from the coaching staff. They've put him into the game and they've been like, can you do this thing? And he's like, you mean that thing that I'm not very good at? Okay. Yeah, sure. Because that's what you have to say when you're a player. You can't be like, how about we switch it up, coach? Like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just think it's looking a bit peak.
That was the difference between Maresca and Rossinha. Maresca learned quickly that we couldn't play out from the back. So what did he do? He mixed it up, and he mixed it up very well against PSG. So, like, Rossinha's hell bent on just going one way, and you could hear it. And at Stamford Bridge, like, the crowd were just getting like so frustrated at just the passing out from the back, and just always going to the defenders to play the ball. Like, just go long. Like, we don't have to like always pass from the back. It's slow. It's not working. And if you're being pressed, like, change it up. But yeah, like I said, the managers know how to adapt and play to their players' strengths. And it just seems like Rafinha's got this way of working. Particularly, he's moving like Amorim, kind of. Like, he's got this.
Yeah, he's the project manager settings where they come out and they just say, this is how we're going to play, even if it doesn't fit the players I've got. And the funniest thing about the Newcastle game is the way that Newcastle play is probably the way that you lot should be playing, right? If you look at the way that they've got Tonali, Joe Linton, Bruno G, that's not too far away from the type of midfield that you've got, right? Like, you've got a player like Tonali, you know, in terms of maybe not as much of the legs, but like in Enzo, right? You've got a player like Joe Linton, kind of an enforcer in terms of Caicedo. You've got these types of players, and then you've got those like pacey wingers. You've got people like Neto, you've got people like Garnacho, you've got people like Esteval, whoever, right? You've got people that can go and like actually run after the ball. And it just feels like if Eddie Howe were your manager, that's how he would have set up. And as you're saying about Enzo, about Maresca, that is how he would have done it, right? He was like somewhat pragmatic to say, you know what, these players can't do this. But the funniest thing about all of this is that, like, you literally played against Tino Livramento and Hall, who were your players at one point, were they not? And they are better, I'd argue, or as good as the two ones that you've got right now. And we're talking about this whole strategy of like buying young players, and you want these young assets that, you know, you can get value from. You just sold. You've let two go to Newcastle. You let one go to Liverpool. It's like they're just buying people for the sake of it, instead of looking at their academy, looking at the players that they've got and saying, you know what, actually, we've got better players here. Maybe let's go and invest in some sort of experience to go alongside of it. And what I know, this is not good news, but I saw that I think Chelsea put out like a condolence message because Thiago Silva's like mum passed away recently. That just reminded me, Thiago Silva is the exact kind of player you need in your fucking team right now. You don't need, 150 points on his license for Fana. You need an actual like leading centre back
when he's driving.
Exactly.
Is that allegedly or for real?
No, that's public record.
Oh my
God. I know this is a top 6 podcast, yeah. But I think we're being a little bit disingenuous to Newcastle in terms of, because Chelsea weren't good, but Newcastle also stuck to the game plan. I think that's like fair. Like they looked like they could have got one or two more. Gordon looked lively. I think Ramsdale made a couple of good saves when he was called upon. And he's
the point is more that they just Chelsea's literally set up in the exact way to say, you know what, if we wanted to let Newcastle win this game, how should we set up? Okay, we're going to play a high line when they've got rapid like wingers and attackers for the most part. Yeah, exactly. And we're going to try play out from the back. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Joe Willock.
They also know we can't break down a low block. Like, Garnacho can't beat his defender. He can't.
Why are you laughing like that? That's so deep.
No, but it's just the player's strengths. Like, Garnacho can't beat his defender. Palmer doesn't have a right foot. Gusto's out on the right and expected to track back. Caicedo, I mean, he can't like thread a ball
do
through
anything.
the line. listen.
Double
I've already-
suspension though. He can do a double suspension. He's
Declan
about
Rice
to get a
to
2-match ban, bro. One more yellow card and he
Bro.
gets a 2-match ban.
Just ask Declan Rice to receive the ball on the half turn and then come back.
Oh, shut
Right,
up.
anyway, we're not talking about that. Anyway, stop making it about you. Bro. I'm joking.
You made it about Declan Rice.
I'm joking. But yeah, no. My point is, we struggled to break down low blocks. So as soon as Newcastle went ahead, that was the game because we didn't fashion any chance of a good nature, and the players were scared to shoot. It's just pass, tappy tap, like Arsenal used to do back in the day. Like everyone's just scared to just put the ball in the box first time or just take a shot, and like it was just perfect examples of that. So yeah, obviously Newcastle did really well because they, like Ray said, stuck to the plan, but we just make it hard for ourselves every time. And then and then just obviously with all this like stuff with the directors meeting fan groups and that, it just gives me absolutely no confidence that this is going to change. So yes, I'm just enjoying the ride now, man. Yeah.
Well, one thing I will say, I don't actually think Newcastle had to play that well. I'm not saying they played badly. They obviously had the game plan and they carried it out, but it was like I wasn't impressed even by what Newcastle did. Like they were more impressive to me when they beat us with 10 men because they actually deserved that. Like they actually, I think, carried out like better level of football. Chelsea literally played into their hands, and it's exactly what Rhys said. Like I've watched these clips already of the amount of like little side to side, like people getting in a good half space and then deciding not to shoot and then come back out again and pass it. Like they literally made it so easy for a low block defense. They virtually did not test them throughout the whole game. So I kind of almost feel like it was more Chelsea effing this up. And God knows why they would choose to do that, like, you know, and go with the full strength team to do that. But yeah, I mean, give Newcastle the credit for actually not deviating and making mistakes necessarily. That's probably the best thing I could say about them. But other than that, Chelsea completely shot themselves in the foot. I have to ask you, Khem, quickly, because I did ask Rhys about, you know, vice versa. You obviously drop in points, they've dropped points. Does seeing Chelsea struggle like this give you guys a bit of hope? You can still get top 4 or top 5? I know you don't, you know, it's like slot, but
I can't really enjoy it fully because I know that we're going to do something just as comical. What is good is that I'm not the only one crashing out when we jump on this fucking thing. So that Rhys is there. A fellow gold badge enthusiast is also there, hating on his manager, hating on his sporting director. So like, I know I'm not alone. So that's always good. You know, I was happy to see the Newcastle result because I was like, yeah. But then I remembered we are us. Liverpool are Liverpool. Slot is slot. And we'll find a way to just keep this thing going. Like, you know that meme, that clown fight in the basketball courts that was like 10 years old, where it's like two clowns having a shitty punch up. I don't know why Ray's pulling that face. You're meant to be the guy that's like in anyway. But like, Ray was probably wearing one of the suits actually in that time, but it's probably in Coventry. Oh, sorry, Hastings. But with that in mind, I think we need the coefficient. Basically, we need those 5 spots. So I might have to cheer every Madueke dive in the coming weeks.
No, to be fair, you need to thank us because I was reading the Athletic article on this.
For what?
We have contributed the most coefficient points to this, and apparently there's like a 99. There's a 99.9% chance, according to Opta's supercomputer or whatever, that we will still get 5. But we are leading the league in terms of the coefficient, and it's that is the one that is
last year and this year.
Oh, you finished top of the Champions League group, isn't it?
Exactly. So yeah, thank you,
okay,
Arsenal.
But who finished
thank you,
top of it last year? And who's actually recently made a final out of all?
Yeah, no, you can take some, but look at you now.
Chelsea are in the Carabao Cup because they won it. Look at us now. We're on the same stage as you in the Euro.
Listen.
You've not done anything more than us.
We're not the coefficient podcast, guys. I get it. You
Stop
guys are
shaking.
desperado.
Well, you definitely
but-
didn't help with the coefficients. You shouldn't even talk on that. You brought we could
we
have had
also
7
didn't-
spots if it wasn't for Man United. man.
We
Fucking hell.
also
Disgusting.
didn't damage it. We also didn't damage it, and actually, we did probably contribute more than you did by getting to a European final last season. So, chill out, broski.
Didn't
All right,
contribute
let's
to
go on
making
to-
it into Europe the following season, though, did you? You fell out.
That's all right. We'll make it this season and finish above you. But let's get on to Man
I'm sure
United.
skulls will be
3-1
delighted.
3-1 against Aston Villa. Yeah, man. To be honest, this was quite a comfortable match. While the first half was pretty drab and frustrating, we kept giving the ball away. Ahmad was particularly wasteful. Diego Dalot missed a really, really easy chance, arguably harder or easier than Mark Gahey yesterday. Me and Jonty were debating that at the time, but it was a bad miss.
Did you just call him Diego Dallo? Is that his new name? Because he's so shit.
Bro, I don't give a fuck what that brother's name is. He's shit. I don't care. He can be David Dallo. I don't give a fuck, man. He's terrible. And
Diego Dallo in Emmanuel Ugarte.
yeah, exactly. Emmanuel Ugarte is another shit player. I don't care. He's unnamed Uruguayan, unnamed Portuguese right back. But yeah, Spurs a chance. Second half is totally different, to be honest. Lots of chances. The most falling to us. Bruno gets 2 assists. Probably should have had 3. Sesko absolutely fluffs one at the end. But we win the game 3-1. Casemiro popping up with another set piece goal. You know, no WWE set pieces, proper clean, nice tactical set pieces, great header. Cunha scores another goal as well. Great finish. Happy days for my FPL. And then Sesko scores another goal off the bench. Very lucky though, to be fair. Big deflection. And to be honest, I don't know what he was doing. He didn't have the greatest cameo, in my opinion, when he came on the pitch, but he scores a goal and we win 3-1. So yeah, from a United perspective, we're 3 points clear of Villa now in third. I think we're 5 points clear of Liverpool, who are currently in fifth, and 6 points clear of Chelsea. So we're in a great position, man. Carrick's got 7 wins out of 9. Villa are absolutely dropping like a stone. I think we talked about it on the pod for a couple of weeks, and we talked about the red cartel and Khem smiling now and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't actually think they were that diabolical in this game. But yeah, losing 4-1 at home to Chelsea, losing 3-1 to Man United, your kind of top 4, top 5 rivals in back-to-back game weeks is not inspiring confidence that they're going to be able to keep Liverpool out, which is ultimately what I hope they do. But yeah, it's looking a bit rough. But Unai Emery is the Europa League specialist. They're obviously helping with the coefficient to the discussion we've just had by winning their game against Lille, and probably one of the favourites to win the Europa League this season. So hopefully they can get in that way if they don't make it through the league. But yeah, performance was definitely better than the last couple of weeks. In the second half in particular, especially from Bruno. I think Yoro was a bit shaky in the first half, made a couple of mistakes, but he was much better in the second half, dealt with any kind of threat they had. But still, defensively, Maguire was quite shaky in this game. So yeah, I definitely think that's maybe an area for us to look at improving in the summer alongside midfield. But yeah, to get the 3-1 win, we've kind of, in all the big games that Carrick's had, he's got the dub in all of them against the top 6 rivals in this little period of 9 games that he's had, and he's won every single home game. So compared to where we were drawing with Wolves, losing to 10-man Everton, having diabolical home performances, it's obviously a welcome change. But yeah, not much more for me to really chat about in terms of Man United in this game. But we're looking much better, and third place hopefully should be ours going forward. But I don't know what you, man, want to add to the conversation before we get into the previews, but I can't complain.
I want to ask you your weekly question.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep him? Shall he stay or
Carrick.
shall he go? Yes.
You know what, man? I think there's only 1 or 2 managers out there that I would say, regardless of what Carrick does, you'd be crazy to not hire them. Other than that, like how he's performing, I'd be happy for him to get the full-time job. He's definitely performing well. You know what is an underrated factor, which I don't think a lot of people have talked about, or maybe people have moaned about, is his team lineups and like the changes he makes have all been pretty good. I think that was something when I looked at, obviously during Amorim's reign, all the changes he was making to the lineup and then all of the strange substitution of defenders all the time. Most of the lineups have been fairly consistent with Carrick. I think the only deviation was Palace. And then because of Dorgu's injury after the Arsenal game, he obviously took Dorgu out and brought in Cunha. But otherwise, it's fairly consistent. And to be honest, I think that's helped us with a lot of the results we've had. I think chopping and changing teams all the time is not really going to help. So I'm happy with Carrick and how he's performing. So, yeah, I wouldn't be outraged. I would definitely keep him if we finish third, unless one of those few big managers who I think you can't ignore come on the market and are willing to come to us. But I don't even think that's possible. I don't think people like Enrique and any of that kind of stuff will actually want to come to us in this moment. So I'd say stick with Carrick, man. Let him sign the team.
I do feel like it's a bit of a shame, though, isn't it? Because like he's going to work all hard and get you into the Champions League just for somebody else to come and say, you know what, actually, I will come to Man United now because you lot have got Champions League. So it does feel kind of harsh because he's done really, really well, and I do think your point on him with the lineup is solid, which is, I think the biggest thing that you got to take as a positive is he plays people in their position. And I mean, we can talk about Rhys, we can talk about Khem, we can talk about a lot of our teams playing players out of position and then wondering why the fuck we're not performing. Your guy just plays people in their positions. Even if he's swapping it around, he's swapping Mazraoui for Dallo at right back. Oh, it makes sense. He's swapping maybe your front four around, which most of them can play different positions. You look at the lineup today and Mbeumo up front, yeah, maybe that's a little bit questionable, but he can play there too. So I feel like that's probably the biggest thing about him, is that he's just playing players where they're supposed to play. Right? They've grown up all their lives playing in these certain positions, and then stupid fucking Amorim with his Jerry curl and his fucking Monclizzy comes in and says, yeah, you're not a right winger anymore, you're a fucking right back. And I know Ahmad's probably not a great example because he was a bit shit today, but in general, it's just amazing what you can do when you play people in their actual position.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even that. It's just the overall tactical approach. I think it's quite simple. Like, and I think that's what's been refreshing about it. Like, it's pretty much try and get the ball back to front in minimal number of passes. We've got players that can do that. Bruno's MO is literally that. Like, he's literally very good at trying to play with the through pass. Like, he's not going to make every single one, but he's fairly effective at it. And when he's playing in the form that he is right now, like the pass to Cunha was really good. Even the pass to Sesko, which he F's up, comes from Bruno, was really good. Like his set plays, like delivery is fairly solid and consistent.
It also gives you a way to break down low blocks, right? Because we've talked about this all day long. You look at Arsenal, right? We've got pacey wingers. They don't always put in the best crosses, and we don't necessarily have like a big tank up front that can head balls into the back of the net, right? Whereas you lot have got the perfect... You lot of, he's not a heading tank, I'll tell you that for free. But
broken.
You've got like the perfect setup for it, because Cunha's got an absolute whip of a ball on him, and Mbeumo, same thing. You've got Bruno who can do the same, and then you've got people like Casemiro, who's a really good header of the ball despite his size. But you've also got Sesko, who's like fucking 8 foot tall. So it sets up well for when you do play like teams that maybe try and figure you out and try and put a low block behind it. It's like you've got players that can play really good balls into the box, and you've got a striker. As much as he might look like an aesthetic Gyökeres, he can get his head on things, you know. So it probably sets up well. I think the main challenge you've got is that if you might get into shootouts because your defense is still shaky. And
yeah, that's the worry. That's the worry. They've improved the attack, because our attack was god awful last season. I think it was the lowest ever goals scored we've ever had in the Premier League, and we've addressed that. We're scoring a lot more goals, but our defense has conceded more on pace than we have before in previous, recent seasons. So you've got to try and find a solution to that, because we definitely, when we scored the first goal, for that 5-10 minute period where Villa ended up equalising, they were cutting through us, and there were big holes, especially on Luke Shaw's side with Maguire. Like, they were getting pulled out of position quite a lot. So they definitely need to remedy that. But yeah, man. I think keeping it simple after having a coach who maybe overcomplicated things and was doing strange things is probably the perfect antidote. But whether that's sustainable longer term, I think is really going to depend on what the recruitment is in midfield, because we're going to lose Casemiro. Hopefully we sell Emmanuel Ugarte, and we're going to have to rebuild that position. And if we don't get the right people in, then, you know, we might be stagnant, let's say, when it comes to our development. It might be, you know, the best hope we can aim for is something similar to this season, but who knows, man. Khem, you're desperate to I know I normally skip you on Man United chat. What are you trying to say?
Oh, so kind of annoying because it's probably the one time I'd actually give you some credit, which just sucks. I was trying to give you shit all afternoon, but can't get anything from it really. Like Sesko, the 90 million prospect, is still banging in goals, so can't really hate on him while he's still scoring. I did shit on Cunha, but he scored. So basically, I'm gonna stop slandering your players because they seem to have a good performance. Except for Yoro, he's still always going to be.
I thought he was decent in this match, man. Yoro was okay.
Guys. But yeah, I mean, you guys are in a good spot. You guys are in a very good spot. Like you could even chase down City the way they're playing. You never know. But are the class of 92 happy with this? Because Gary Neville sounded more miserable on comms than Carragher did, for example. Like,
honestly, bro, I agree.
He did not sound. Am I bugging here, guys? Whoever was watching, he didn't sound very happy that you guys bagged 3-1 against like a top 4 rival. And it's just weird behaviour for a former teammate. I know Neville was at the end of his career when Carrick sort of got there, I believe. I don't know if he would actually. Maybe I don't know if he left.
He was there for a good chunk.
Was he there?
No, he was there for a good chunk.
Yes, it's odd, man. So, yeah, do they, you know, with Neville and the angry Irishman and the toe sucker, like all on a like not really liking Carrick? Do you think that will sway ownership? Because maybe you should keep him, man. You know, another Ollie situation. Is that what you're scared of, or?
No. We talked about it last week, to be honest, on the pod about like the divide between the class of 92 and the 2008 kind of era legends. There's definitely something going on. I don't know what the root cause of it is. I don't know if it's just jealousy, hating from the outside. Don't even know. I think someone mentioned on last week's pod, maybe they wanted Ollie to get the job and they're kind of a bit miffed that Carrick ended up getting it. I don't know, man, but it's definitely there. I can feel it as well on everything that Gary Neville puts out there. When he talks about Carrick, there's always a lot of just, don't give it to Carrick, don't give it to the best person possible. And then, you know, do you trust the board to pick the best person possible? Because I'm still seeing Glasner linked. I'm still seeing like certain managers who've had a big drop off, like in the contention to get the job. I don't know. I think we just got he's in the position, right? And if he does really well, which he's currently doing, then I find it really hard to just say, unless you've got a generational manager like the Enriques or something like that who come available, how could you not give it to him? He's arguably performed much better than those managers who are potentially in the running in the same league.
Surely you've also got to look for longevity, right? And I said this to you.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
Enrique, if he comes to you, he's staying a maximum of 2-3 seasons and he's gone, bro. Like that's that. And unless he's gonna win something for you immediately, which I'd still argue from a squad point of view, you're not even in that position yet. I don't think it makes any sense to get him. I'd rather put Carrick in the job for a couple more years, get to a position, like give him the right players, get to a position where you're actually stable in the Champions League, and then go and get like a manager that's going to take you to the next level. But it doesn't make any sense to go and get Enrique. When, let's be honest, Enrique doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like, since all the stuff that's happened in his personal life, you can see he doesn't give a fuck. He'll come in, do what he wants, upset who he wants, get you to play really nice football, probably get you a couple trophies, and he's going to bounce and he's going to go wherever it's enjoyable. And I'm going to be honest with you, Man United is not an enjoyable club to manage unless you are like really doing very well all the time.
Yeah, you can't go earthing in the Greater Manchester area either. It's raining.
But I'm gonna pass the mic over to Razor, because I know you've been coming on and off mute constantly, waiting for the moment. But I feel like it's perfect with Jonty's chat around Luis Enrique, because I'm hoping you're going to give us some sort of bad B analogy for Luis Enrique, because it's there. It's just waiting for you to drop it.
No,
right.
I'm just going to say the name that I think you've been running from, but you need to embrace a bit more. Gareth Southgate.
If you sack off Carrick for Gareth Southgate, then you need to get rid of your whole structure. You need to get rid of all the sporting directors. You need to get Scruffy Jim out. You need to get rid of all of them because that's a fucking downgrade if I've ever heard.
The bad B analogy for Carrick is that, like, yes, it is there. Like you've got a babes that is holding you down and is looking after you. Especially like she took a limb out on you when you were broke. Do you know what I mean? She didn't have a problem with going for a cheeky Nando's and doing 2-for-1 Odeon with the cinema ticket code thing. You know what I'm saying? She's not scared of a coupon. She came in and you got a little raise at work, a little promotion, got a little bit more bread. Your Air Forces are whiter now, and now you think you're too good for her. You want a bad B. The bad B will dump you and leave you, like Jonty just said. Like the bad B doesn't care about you. Carrot cares about you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what more you guys want. Like I don't know where the hesitation comes from. I think he has been madly successful, and he took what looked Spurs-esque at the start of the season and has made it. Now that's a bit harsh, but like you've definitely looked Spurs-esque over the Amorim tenure. And yeah, I think he's stabilized the ship, and I think if any other manager had been got in and stabilized the ship this much, people would be calling for him to stay. But it's just because you kind of, going back to the analogy, you know, you just see her as the babes that you've known her since secondary school. She's not shiny.
She's the high school sweetheart that helped you grow up, man. And now you're looking for better things, and you need to settle yourself down. You ain't Jeff Bezos.
No, this is
you got rice at home, as they say, man. Go back to the rice at home. You don't need no McDonald's, bro.
No, this is like you know, Sofia Vergara becomes back on the market again, and you know it's not going to last long, but you got to shoot your shot, man.
My brother. If Sofia Vergara comes back on the market, it has got nothing to do with anybody on this fucking live stream. It's way outside of our scope. And sometimes you shoot too far and you end up hurting yourself.
Yeah, I agree. But like, if somehow, you know,
just put Carrick in some chips in the bag, bro, and take it home.
Yeah,
man.
Bro. Honestly, man, I agree. It's not hesitation from me. But there is hesitation from the class of '92. There is hesitation.
They don't work for Man United. They need to.
No, but the scary thing,
don't work.
One of them sucks. Spurs. They've all been failed managers as well.
No, but guys,
Spurs quit after like 10 days.
The
Gary
thing
Neville
is,
quit after like 3 months.
Bro, Gary, I agree, but Gary Neville definitely has the ear of Scruffy Jim and a bunch of those guys, because you know he's working with them on the stadium.
And where has that led you over the last how long, man? I hear it. The fan base needs to tell him to kick rocks and shut up. Stop subscribing to his crap. Don't mention his name. Talk about Philip instead.
Bro, you the one who brought him up. But I do, I hear it, man. I would be happy, absolutely over the moon if Carrick gets a job. It will obviously because he performs well. So it's a guarantee, right? He's not going to get the job if he somehow fumbles top 5 or 4 or whatever. He's only going to get it if he gets and achieves the goals of the club. So I'd be happy, man. But the thing is, the trepidation is you can't trust these guys. I'm not going to mention his name, otherwise I'm crashing out like Khem and Rhys have done today. But you know who I don't particularly have good vibes and feelings about. But it's possible. But I'm definitely happy to go with Carrick, and the way he's performed, I think has proven that he deserves a shot. Whether it's sustainable, whether there is longevity with the way he's playing and the tactics and stuff like that, I think it depends on who we recruit, and I think it depends on him showing us more in these remaining games, and if he does get the job next season. But definitely no doubts from mine.
Just to quote, I think one of the few legends from Man United that actually deserves a microphone in front of his face, even if he's going to diss Arsenal in doing so. To quote him, it's easy to talk on TV, but Neville, when you were at Valencia, they asked you for paella and you gave them fish and chips. After 3 months, they said goodbye. I think that's what all of your players need to relax. They need to relax, get Patrice on there, get some other player. Ashley Young even, I know he could bore the fucking paint off over the wall, but it don't matter. Get some of these men on there and get Neville and all these lot off, because they're pushing you down a road that gets the most clicks, but not the road that will lead you to any sort of success. It's just banter era. Man United is what they are making money off the back of.
No, but it's
They
also
are your
their-
AFTV. They are your AFTV.
I believe in that to a certain extent, but it's more that they're disconnected from modern day football. I think they've admitted it at certain times as well, right?
Hence why they
They're
sucked at management, because they disconnected. They should just...
Exactly. It's true, bro. It's true. When I heard, I think it was Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes say Roy Keane needs to be the manager on one of their first pods, I was like, I've had enough. I'm not watching this ever again. Paddy McGuinness is on there. Even more reason. Fuck that pod. I'm not watching it. Right. So, we know to hopefully discerning United fans can make a judgment based on some of the outlandish things they've said. So, yeah, we keep it moving. We're in third. I'm happy.
United
Definitely.
fans.
I'd be happy for us to stick with Carrick, man. All right, let's go on to the
the final question. No, we need to have one final question. This should be the real question for Man United every single week. How many days until your next game?
I don't know, mate. Actually, it's Friday, so 5 days. So hold that.
Ooh,
all right, we'll go to
good.
Champions League second leg, round of 16. Fucking hell, this pod is long. Liverpool, Galatasaray. Khem, are you getting through or not? Simple. Yes or no?
No.
Oh my God. Man hates his own manager. All right. I actually think you will get through, but you're going to make a meal of it. But yeah, let's see what actually happens. Arsenal, Leverkusen, I think John's Razor, you man are also going to that game. I feel like you guys are going to be confident. You reckon you're going to get through it?
One game at a time, you know.
I reckon we'll squeak through it. I don't think it'll be a
man.
battering. I think we'll
Tough
probably win like
opposition.
2-1 or something.
Hashtag respect.
Respectable.
Talking about respectable, Rhys, Chelsea, PSG. You look knackered, bro. I'm assuming you think this is done, yeah?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, we might be able to score, but we definitely won't stop them from scoring. So, yeah,
man's got hope for scoring. Wow. All right. So, I mean, that's not good looking then for the coefficient. If we think Liverpool are going out, Chelsea are going out, I think we all expect Spurs out already. Newcastle got a really tough game against Barca away. I think they've actually got a decent chance. They've probably got more chance than Chelsea do and Tottenham do. But, yeah, boy, that's not... I mean, City as well. We haven't even talked about them. They're done out here. That's finished. All right.
Oh, boy.
Boy, it's not looking good for the coefficient. I think you man need to prepare for top four. There ain't no top five.
Can I just ask a question? Sorry, if Villa finished like sixth, yeah, and then won the Europa League, that one of us gets kicked out, right?
No, they
no.
don't do that
you'll
anymore.
all get it.
That's why there's so many English teams in there.
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say bloody hell. All right.
You only did that to Everton back in the day, but that rule doesn't apply anymore. It's
I think Chelsea don't Spurs as well.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the Carabao Cup final preview then. Arsenal, Man City. I'm hearing the tickets are like thousands of pounds because of obviously Arsenal going to have a massive following there. City are bringing their allocation down from money as well. Razor, this is a big game. You've obviously got this off the back of the Leverkusen game, so obviously that might impact it. But how are you feeling? This is a big opportunity for Arteta to pick up another piece of silverware.
I feel nervous. No. I feel good. I feel like things are going well. Best case scenario, convincing win for us against Leverkusen. And Real Madrid slap more meat on their forehead. Basically, that's the ideal. That's what happened in the first leg. We don't talk City on this pod because they're fucking City in it, but that's what happened in the first leg. Them man got violated. It was on websites that you can't access without your ID in this country anymore. It was crazy. And it made me so happy. And then they fumbled against whoa, what are you doing?
Man
checked his bookmarks, Man checked his bookmarks.
No, but he's saying URLs.
Come on, man. We're all grown-ups. It's almost midnight here, man. Relax. Just tell me, you're going to win or not? You're going to beat Man City. This is a shootout.
God. I'll back us. I think we're going to beat Man City.
We win on pens.
Pens.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I would like
win
to
on
not
pens.
do that. I would like to not do that, but I would take it.
Raya dagger right at the end. Or Kepa top corner.
I'm not gonna lie. You don't want this to go to pens because
Yeah.
I've seen Raya in penalty shootouts. I know he's had a couple of decent ones, but he also has some real weird ones. And Donnarumma in penalty shootouts is fucking handy, both for Italy and for PSG. He's a good penalty shootout keeper. So you want to win this in 90 or 120. I don't think you want pens, if I'm honest.
Donnarumma's literal only weakness as a goalkeeper is if we try and get him to like do other things, like I don't know, like play out from the back and claim crosses and shit. Like if penalties are just shot stopping, and that's like he's pretty fucking good at that.
Nah, Saka Panenka to win it.
Traumatized.
Honestly, I'm good as a neutral. I would enjoy watching that, but if that was Man United going into it, I would not love that.
It's revenge for Chiellini. It's revenge for Chiellini. He's Panenka it past Donnarumma.
All right. I mean that would be good viewing. I mean, Khem, what do you reckon? Do you reckon Arsenal are gonna end the trophy drought? You've been joking about it in the group. Do you actually think that?
Yeah, I mean they've been in such good form. Like it's difficult to even score against Arsenal, let alone beat them. City's form has been so inconsistent as well. Even when they added Semenyo and Guehi, they still have moments of Bozo in their team. He keeps chopping and changing. He looks a little bit lost. So yeah, with the form Arsenal are in, I think I'd say probably Man City 2-1 to win.
All right, Rhys, what do you reckon? Do you reckon
The hater
Arsenal
is always going to be there.
I got well confused by what Kevin said there, and then
That's the first time that's happened.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, no, I definitely think Arsenal have the psychological advantage right now, and City absolutely stink the last few games. And I did say before, I just think City operate in too much chaos and they can't control a game. So I think that's going to be a big advantage for Arsenal going into this. So yeah, I'm going to say Arsenal to win in 90 minutes as well.
Don't do it, bro.
Yeah.
Stay hating, man. Stop glazing. Stay hating.
I know. I should. Furthermore, fuck that. I want them
Thank
to
you,
lose.
my guy.
I
Come
want to
on,
see-
man.
just to see Jonty upset.
London was blue, bro. Don't let him do
I'll
it.
be
Come on.
here in the group chat, John.
You're done.
Okay, I changed my answer. Gyökeres dagger.
I
Saka
mean,
wouldn't even take a penalty. He'd be limping off by 70 minutes.
I mean, to be honest, it's the final everyone wants to see, right? Like they're
Not
going
really.
for the. I mean, in this context, right? If we were in there, any of our clubs, we would obviously prefer that. But
If you have corners,
if our clubs are not involved, then this is going to be one where the narratives are going to be going mad. You know, Haaland's been stinking up his form recently. Got a big opportunity to be humble and try and get the dub over Arsenal. It's going to be really interesting, man. All right, cool. I actually think City are going to win, but I wouldn't be shocked. Obviously, Arsenal are the favourites, I reckon. But I just think in a big final, some of their players have got to show up, and if they do, then I think they'll get the win. But yeah, Arsenal have got to be favourites going into it. All right, let's go on to the game week 31 preview. Prediction league updates. No real changes in position, or there was one. But yeah, pretty much solid. No big, massive correct scores. I have to say, this game week was absolutely diabolical. The amount of 0-0s, 1-1s, it was an absolute smelly game week. The lack of goals we had, it was not good viewing. But yeah, updates on the table. Rhys is still first, 107 points, 19 correct scores. Jonty is second with 104 points and 16 correct scores. Khem is third with 100 points and 16 correct scores. Io is now in fourth with 96 points and 13 correct scores. Rhys in fifth with 96 points and 11 correct scores. I'm in sixth with 92 points, 9 correct scores. And yeah, Nash is still seventh with 76 points and 11 correct scores.
You're still single digits for prediction, like correct score.
Certain man were twerking because I didn't get my predictions in on time last time, and they haven't even passed me on numbers. They're ahead of me by ordering. Let the record reflect that the tall guy looks up to me too.
Correct
Tall
scores.
guy's not even
Some correct
Centurion.
scores. Man literally just got 100 points and he's bragging about Centurion. All right, let's get into Bournemouth, Man United. Rhys, what's your prediction for this game?
1-0 Man United.
All right,
Yeah.
1-0. Jonty, what's your prediction, Bournemouth, Man United?
Bournemouth are in very good form. Apparently, they're like on the highest unbeaten run, 10 games or something. So I'm going 2-2.
All right, 2-2. Desmond, Khem, what's your prediction for this one?
Oh, do you know what? I was going to do something similar to John's, but I'm going to go 2-1 to United.
All right, 2-1 United. Io has gone 2-2 as well. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I have gone 3-2 to United. I think this is going to be the shootout that we were denied this week in the Prem.
Yeah. I mean, if we go by the last game we had 4-4, there's you would expect maybe goals, but it could go the other way, right? Bournemouth, I think, had a 0-0 this game week. So, yeah, let's hope it's a bit more exciting. I've gone 2-1 Man United, and Nash has absolutely gone wild. He's gone 3-0 Man United. All right, Brighton, Liverpool. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one?
1-1. 2. Yeah, 1-1.
1-1-2. 1-1 draw. It's late, folks. It's past midnight.
Man's giving 5-a-side formations out here.
It's 1-1 to the Chelsea, isn't it? All right, Jonty, what's your prediction, Brighton, Liverpool?
2-1 Brighton.
All right, 2-1 Brighton. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
Even though I've already said it to you, can I actually change it?
No.
Or can I actually not?
What's your score?
Because basically, I picked this on the premise that I expect Slot to be sacked after fucking up
No,
against
get
Gala,
fucked.
and then it would be
Just
new
tell us the
manager
score.
bounce. So 2-0 Liverpool, new manager bounce.
You're not
Or
getting a new
interim
manager.
manager.
What are you talking about?
Interim manager bounce. Well, it was a head loss moment, isn't it? Don't pod on the day
Bro,
of the game. All right,
You're so
Dick.
desperate for
Yeah,
Slot out.
prick. Yeah, so, but then in hindsight, I thought maybe we won't sack him and I want to change it. So that's
No.
what I was
You
going
score
with.
as a score, bro. You let's be real. No one is expecting Slot to get sacked. So I don't know why you've gone for 2-0 2-0 Liverpool, but you have. That's the score, man. That's the rules. The rules are the rules. Io's gone 2-1 Brighton.
You might
Razor,
read
what's your
them out.
prediction in this one?
Imagine if it's 2-0 Liverpool. I'm going to be sick. I've actually gone 2-1 Liverpool. Slot in.
All right, I've gone 1-1 draw. Nash has gone 2-1 Brighton. Everton, Chelsea, Rhys. You there, bro? What's your prediction in this one?
Yeah, I went 2-1 to Chelsea out of my better judgment, but yeah. That was probably a 1-1. I don't know why I did that.
All right, 2-1 Chelsea. Jonty, what's your prediction in this one?
2-1 Everton. And I would like to say, I think Khem should be able to change his score, but he should do it late. And that means that all of his scores would go to correct results only.
I mean,
No, I was on time because my phone charger's here.
Any slip up now with the top 3, it's going to be a bit mad because there's only like how many games left?
yeah, it's not many games, man.
Might go down to the last 3, Johns.
I would objectively allow it because that would technically be what would happen. So if you want to change your score, you can change it, but then all of your results are just, you can only get correct results. You can't get correct scores.
I like
I'm
this.
guessing you won't want to do this. 2-0, yeah?
I just, well, I feel stuck now. Man.
Stumbling over his words.
I feel like a bunch of
Bro,
warships
relax,
have just come around my beautiful land.
Bro, what are you on? What's your, do you want to change it or not? We're sticking with 2-0,
No,
yeah?
no, I am not.
You want
I'm
to
with
change it
this
or?
2-0. I'm staying
All right,
2-0, new manager bounce.
All right, cool. All right. Everton, Chelsea, Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
3-1 to Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. All right, Io's gone 1-1 draw. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
3-1 to Chelsea. Rafinha in.
Did you not see that game against Newcastle or what?
differential.
Yeah,
Is
baby.
it just me?
Bro, have you not watched Chelsea this season?
They're
like-
They're fucking shite. Yeah, I have.
No,
Everton-
they
Everton
are
crap as
they are shite, but they are more inconsistent than they are shite. Like they'll be shite for 2 weeks in a row, and then they'll turn up and score 3 goals in the first half.
Mate, it's the Hill Dickinson.
sure.
They're absolute
Two-
fortress.
Everton are
We
shy
shall
at home
see.
and they'll give away 2 pens.
We shall see.
Yeah,
Rhys,
I mean,
Rhys doesn't look happy.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, understandable, right?
Are you
Considering-
Rhysenia out then, Rhys?
Out of his depth, yeah.
Give it another couple of weeks. We'll make that the weekly question for Rhys. But right now, I think we should calm her. All right, I've gone 1-1 draw, and Nash has gone 3-1 Chelsea. So yeah, Johnson's the only one who's gone Everton win. Quite a few draws and quite a few Chelsea wins there. Spurs Forest, the relegation 6-pointer. Rhys, what's your prediction for this game?
I've gone 2-1 Spurs, and this is the game they turn it round. And yeah,
I think the big question is, will Tudor actually be there? Because after the last couple of results, everyone was saying there's no chance he's going to be there. But after this morale-boosting 1-1 at Liverpool, I don't know, he might stick around. John, Spurs Forest, what's your prediction in this one?
I think it's going to be 1-1 because, I mean, we saw them do all right against City and then they went fucking shit again. So I don't think there's going to be much difference here either.
Yeah, fair enough. Khem, what's your prediction in this one, Spurs Forest?
1-1 as well.
All right, 1-1. Io's gone 2-1 Forest. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I think the 6-pointer's a 2-pointer. I'm going 1-1 as well.
All right, 1-1. I've gone 2-1 Forest. And then Nash has gone 1-0 Spurs. All right, so that's probably the most varied result. A couple of Forest wins, some draws, and a couple of Spurs wins. All right, all predictions in. We'll wrap up the pod here. 2-hour pod, crazy amount of reviewing and debating going on through all of these results. But obviously big fixtures now, Champions League, Carabao Cup final, and the Premier League on the weekend as well. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in to this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop us a like, leave a comment, share the video. And if you're listening on the audio podcasting platforms, please follow us, leave a 5-star review. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care, everyone.
Find the biggest voices in sport on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Like Under the Cosh with me.
And me, Chris Brown. And me, John Barkin.
Do I not get my name?
Not important, irrelevant.
Well, join us each week when we have a different character from the world of football.
Imagine sat in your local pub, you've got your favourite player and he's telling you the nitty-gritty. From modern day to the good old days, we've got it all.
And I don't know if you know, there's a bit of a tournament going on this summer. We've got some extra bonus
Materials.
material. I like that word. Better than content.
Search Under the Cosh and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports Social Podcast Network.